Welcome into the Channel Tennessee podcast. It is June the 3rd, 2025. The Sweet 16 of baseball is set. Tennessee will take on a team where their fan base hates our coach, but in the back of their mind, they really want him. And the Arkansas Razorbacks in Fayetteville Regional. The Vols take care of Wake Forest this past weekend. So the Vols are set to head to Fayetteville from the Fayetteville region. A slur heard all around the world. Oh my gosh, let's talk about that. And the baseball team got a new transfer portal player who's hit 31 home runs this season. So that's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. But let's start this podcast out with Wake Forest, their team, and that game yesterday. My God. Being at that game yesterday was absolute mayhem. That was one of the funnest times I've ever had in Lindsey Nelson Stadium because I wasn't at that Wright State walk-off. I wasn't there. I've been a part of a lot of awesome games in Lindsey Nelson Stadium, but that by far, man, dead honesty. That one inning where we scored 7 runs was one of the most badass, fun, electric innings I've ever heard from that fan base because Lindsey Nelson yesterday was at a level the entire game that I've never seen in my life. And Andrew Fisher, kudos to you, brother, because you set the precedent of that game. And you came out, beat your chest, pumped up the crowd. That pissed off the coach the most I've ever seen ever from a coach in Wake Forest to call you a bad name. And then you go out there and you just drain one into outer space. One of the loudest pops reactions I've ever heard. It was absolutely insanity in Lindsey Nelson. I will never forget that game. I was so exhausted, so drained, so tired, but my gosh, I'm so glad I went. Austin, welcome in. Everybody, welcome in. That game yesterday, dude, was bad ass.
That was easily. You might be correct. It might be the number 2 game on my list of games I've attended in that stadium. I mean, it didn't end with a walk-off. There was no big comeback, really. It was just like something about that moment, like all season long, following this team. Obviously, it's been a little different than the past few teams, or even though we're hosting. We didn't host in 23, whatever. They just weren't. They didn't have that dominant era. They lost, I think, 3 straight home series, or maybe 4. I can't remember perfectly. Kentucky, Auburn, yeah, I think it was 4. And you just at the end of the season, yeah, you saw good stuff throughout the year. I mean, hell, you were number 1 in the country 8 games into the SEC slate, but that downward spiral we went in, and Tony doesn't like to call it a slide. I'd call it a slide though, for about a month and change. It was pretty bad. And then we go into Hoover, and we look good against Alabama, and then we're holding our breath because we know we've had a lot of good 1 days, but we haven't had a lot of good 2 days here in this slide, 40-day slide. And we go down 4-0, but we're able to come back, win at 7-5 in great fashion. Lose the next day, pretty bad to Vandy, but we did our job for the most part that we came to do in Hoover, and we earned a hosting spot. Then we host the regional. Game 1, I mean, is Miami, Ohio, but hell, they almost eliminated Wake Forest the following day. We took care of them. Great work. Doyle had his look good after a couple shaky starts. Then we go game 2, beat the crap out of Cincinnati. Then we got game 3, Wake Forest. Honestly, we got a little history with Wake Forest. Not on the field, but they plucked two of our, well, one pitcher that was mad that he got removed from the starting rotation, but absolutely owned the postseason out of the pen. They ripped him out of our program, and they turned around. Or I guess I can't say they turned him around. I feel like he already kind of turned around down the stretch at UT, but he ends up going there, getting the number 1 overall seed. They lose, or no, that was actually after him. But they go to the postseason, lose. But he's the number 2 overall pick. I think he's won the Pitcher of the Year award with them. And then we had this guy we're starting on midweeks and giving heavier rotation, Matthew Dallas. He goes and ditches us for Wake Forest, and he actually starts the game for them against Cincinnati. Absolutely does outstanding to get him in that spot versus us. So we get to that regional game against them. We win. We move on to the Supers against the Hogs, and they jump up at one point 6-2. But we strike back. Fisher hits a bomb, cuts it 6-4. And then Levi hits another bomb, gets it 6-6. Then we kind of get into that back, and our offense just kind of struggling, and we get walked off by a walk. So I'm not going to lie. After that game, I honestly didn't feel like even going to the game on Monday. It kind of gutted you. You feel like, oh, we turned a corner, then we went right back to our old BS. And you just kind of had this feeling in your gut of just like, oh, come on. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, blah, 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 blah. I spent too much money this weekend. Do I really want to go to another freaking baseball game? But, as I'm at work Monday, you get that feeling like, I better go. I want to go.
Well, you just always think back to the Wright State game. You always think back, and like you can't miss a moment like that. And that's why I'm so big on people. And if we're getting killed or up big in a midweek game or a series that doesn't really matter, like, I don't care if you leave. But if it's the postseason, dude, anything can happen in the postseason. And you saw that. You saw that this past weekend where Wake Forest comes out and they win on a walk-off walk, which is the dumbest way to win, which pisses you off. It pisses you off so bad. But then turn around the next day on that Monday and you're tired, you're gut punched, I'm exhausted from the whole weekend. And I'm like, I don't really even want to go to this game, but holy hell, I'm glad I did. Yes. Because that was one of the funnest games I have ever witnessed at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. And I've had season tickets for numerous years, but the atmosphere also, like you just said, was intense, insane. No one ever shut up.
And the guy who was bumping his chest, who was getting the Wake Forest coach pretty freaking upset. He's the guy who told the fans, you better show up, you better be loud. Come on, you guys, I came here for that Lindsey Nelson atmosphere I saw on TV. I saw as a player on the road. I want to see that. And you know what? That guy asked for it, and he asked and he received, man. That was I rewatched the highlights earlier today. I forgot how much he celebrated that home run too. He was pumping his chest. That place was a freaking freaking like a concert. It had the feel of like a concert, didn't it? Like you're seeing your favorite artist at their peak.
Yes, and every song was a banger.
Mm-hmm.
It was so crazy because Andrew Fisher stood up there and he beat his chest. He pumped up the crowd. He told the crowd to come to this game and be loud, to do our part. But dude, that man did his part. Because you can't stand up there and say do our part if you don't do your part. And that man, holy crap, did his part. And that was one of the funnest home runs I've ever seen in my life. Of that man coming up, pumping up the crowd, beating his chest, going wild, crowd getting crazy, the Wake Forest coach getting pissed and saying dumb things. God, what a home
And you
run!
know,
What
here's the
a
thing:
home run!
when you get a guy mumbling that kind of stuff under his breath, you know you've won the game already, man. You know you've already gotten in their heads, and they all had to sit there and like I love. You know, my favorite part was watching the Wake Forest players just watch Andrew Fisher just rub it in as much as he possibly can, and just think. I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean, honestly, it would have blown my mind if the bench is cleared. I mean, it really wouldn't. If this was the '90s, they absolutely would have cleared. I swear to God, they would have. You see, like John Rocker would not have sat down and watched that. But it was so awesome. Man, it was just like the thing is just okay. I go to every single UT sporting event. Hell, we are so spoiled, like going to these games. If you go to every UT football, basketball, and baseball game, you're truly spoiled the last few years. You've seen us tear down our goalposts twice, beating our most hated rival. You've seen us hit a buzzer beater against, that rival. You've seen us be absolutely dominant in the sport of baseball in every sense of the word. It's in the Tony Vitello era. It's littered with moments that you'll never forget as a fan, and just like last night, another unforgettable moment. Hell, part of the reason I moved to freaking Knoxville is because of how regularly I'm going to experience these kind of nights, these kind of days. But I will say, the ones in baseball, I don't know what it is. It just the feeling of the ballpark. It feels so much different than football or basketball because you just feel like a part of it. It's in a weird way. It's such a different kind of brand of athletic event. You know, it's like basketball. I feel like everything's set and it's going to go this way. You might see something. You might see a fight or some players get a little chippy. You might see something like I remember Barnes picking up the mic and telling everyone, "Don't throw stuff on the field court. We still have time to win this." But there's a couple moments you'll never forget. But baseball, it's just like, I mean, I saw our coach tackle our best pitcher and give him gut punches while he's trying to rip his shirt off. Like, when the hell am I going to see that anywhere else? Like, when the hell is he going to come out of the pen? I'll never get looking down the line because my seats were right on the front row. Thank you, Beverly, for the tickets. My seats that game were on the front row, and I looked down the line right where the Tennessee bullpen is, and just seeing Liam Doyle come out there, it was like, it was so next. It was unbelievable, man. It was. Oh man, that was such a night. That was such a Lindsey Nelson night. Oh, I mean, people bitch and moan about how they move the students, and that's what it is. But I think they have a better section now, to be fair, and they are a part of it still. I heard a lot of nasty things yelled at. Plenty of. I think the Wake Forest coach, he got a rant. The students were starting when he was changing the pitcher. It's just God, it was just one of those nights where you're like, man, I love Tennessee baseball. And it's like, especially when it hits, it's like the weather's getting super warm and just those nights. And you're the best program in the sport. I know LSU is the greatest all time, blah, 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 blah. In the last 5 years, there is nothing like Tony Vitello Tennessee baseball. This is a freaking, you're going to write 10 books about this. You're going to do documentaries. This should be a movie adaptation. And it's just so unforgettable, man. What a night. And here we go, the Supers, freaking wrote up on movie script, the protege versus the coach, and two fan bases that hate each other for baseball. Like, this is that is pure, like, you should put that behind a paywall, because this is a hell of a product that you'll see on this weekend. Your mic is muted, Rainey. Rainey is muted, but
sorry, I had to take my Bluetooth headphones out. Anyway, but before before Liam Doyle came out and started warming up in the bullpen, I've never seen this. And people call him a psychopath, and he is for sure 100% a psychopath after what I watched him do in the bullpen before he started warming up. Liam Doyle went into the corner where the two walls are, where the corner meets of the walls, and just stood there and stared at the wall. It did nothing. It did nothing but stare at the wall. And when I saw him trot out to the mound, I was like, this game is over. Like, this guy, I have never seen a pitcher in my life go to the corner of the bullpen and just stare into the wall for about a minute straight. He just stared at it.
God, I love pitchers.
Standing straight up.
You're either a guy who loves pitchers or absolutely hates them. Because pitchers are very unique people generally. Like, there's so much different. Like they always say, like the hitters are like dogs and the hitters are cats. They're quirky, they're weird, they're all over the place. They, especially like Zach Greinke and Greg Maddux. He had to see a psychologist plenty of times, but it's a different kind of breed. On the mound, you're a part of your teammates, but it's almost like you're kind of alone out there, and it's just you and the hitter constantly one-on-one. And you've got to be a certain type of psycho to love that so much. And God bless, I've never seen. I literally, I brought him up earlier, but outside of like John Rocker, I have never seen a pitcher like talk as much smack as Liam Doyle does. That kid is going to. He better be ready. I bet he's Irish. I bet he can fight, and he's going to have to. He better can, because some people are going to charge him in minor league baseball. I'm pretty sure. Can you imagine him like pitching against guys from the Dominican Republic and don't know any English? And he's just talking all the smack in the world. They're like used to not that. He's going to get in some fights. It's going to be entertaining. I bet he'll win though, because he kind of looks like the Notre Dame logo. A little leprechaun.
He's definitely a psychopath. And let's get into other fan bases hate Tennessee so damn much.
I would too.
I would too.
Hate it
because I said here, we sat here on this podcast and said Tennessee is playing terrible to go into the postseason. But what if Tennessee goes on a run and pisses the whole universe off? And that is it's starting to come to fruition. Hasn't ended yet. Hasn't completely come to a head yet, because they got to go to Fayetteville. But man, if they were to beat Arkansas in Fayetteville, the internet would burn to the ground.
I don't know if the state of Arkansas would ever recover from that. Listen, being Arkansas, but here's the thing though. Could you imagine being an Arkansas baseball fan? Like you're going to face the team that is consistently in the postseason pretty freaking clutch, especially before Omaha. Even though we just won the national championship, but we've made more supers than anyone in the past 5 years by two. And it's just like in Arkansas baseball, all they are known for really is being super great until they choke in the postseason. They're one of the most successful programs in the history of college baseball, despite not having one national title. And here comes your former coach, the guy you dream of coaching your team, even though it'll never happen. And freaking never. It'll never happen. Never even think about it, keep dreaming, but it's never happening, and it'll just torture you. And he's walking in there with the biggest bunch of assholes you've ever seen in your life. Ready to crush your dreams.
It's just like it's when Liam Doyle got off the mound and everyone was like, Tennessee's so classless because Liam Doyle is said a bad word to the batter who took a timeout because his coach called a timeout, and because Wake Forest is known for doing that, they call timeouts. They go over there, they regroup, but by that moment in your night during the game that your coach has said something that has lit the internet on fire. Has lit the internet on fire. And listen, me and you were talking about this before the podcast. As much as Tennessee gets just shit on, and they do, and I love it because we hate you too.
We're the best.
We're the best, and you hate it, and you hate it, and it drives me to the biggest, happiest place of my life. And if you're bad, it makes me happy because Tennessee's been bad for so long at so many things. So go to hell. I don't care. I love it. You can hate it, which makes me love it even more. But with all that said, with all the emotion and craziness of the game, stuff is going to be said that's nuts. And if you've ever played a sport, if you've ever watched a sport, you've ever watched NFL mic'd up, anybody mic'd up, they say some stupid stuff. And when this came out, I didn't think it was that crazy because you've seen it in so many places all the time, but it just wasn't caught. And I don't know. I think people are really, I think it's an overreaction. I mean, should he have said it? No, not at all. But he got caught saying it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, things are said that aren't really meant. So it's like,
this is a baseball field. Let's just be honest. That's not top 1 gajillion nastiest things said on a baseball field, probably by us. But yeah, it is. But think the Lord above, that was not Tony Vitello. I don't think Tony even would say it though. But but thank God Almighty, it was not Tony Vitello saying that, because if there would be calls for Tennessee to fire Tony if he was seen saying that.
Dude, the world would have been. It would have been on every single network in the country if Tony would have said that. He would have been fired. People would have been calling him to be fired. People would have been calling him to be just suspended, fined, everything. But since people hate Tennessee so badly, he gets a pass. You know?
I mean, hey, he's getting a little attention, but it's like from the people you expect. So it's what it is. I don't really. It's what it is. It's an overreaction, I think, a little bit, but it's expected. I just thank God it wasn't Tony. That's all I can say. Because I mean, to be fair, we have brought attention on us because we win and we are very loud about it. You know what's so funny to me though? People like to brand us as this team that's just, we're the bad guys. We do it the wrong way. We play baseball more old school than anybody. We don't do the shift. We don't do dances. We don't do freaking TikTok crap. We're very actually an old school team if you really think about it. All we believe is in throwing strikes and hitting bombs. That's all we care about. We believe in playing good old fashioned baseball, but people want to brand us as this just kind of like one of those, like we're the Savannah Bananas of like being a-holes. But oh man, you know that people coming in this postseason, they thought, well, Tennessee has a down year because they just won it all, and they're going to lose, and maybe like a team like Texas or Vandy or I don't know, even Georgia could come up and win something, and all those teams choked like Reggie Miller. They absolutely choked. Vandy, the number 1 overall seed, the number 1 seed, the SEC champions, the top seed, I mean, Vandy fans are finally feeling like, oh my God, thank God we have a great season again. We're having a great year. Thank God. The last few years have been absolutely dreadful, but we are finally truly going to have a good year. Holy crap, we can't hit the broadside of a barn, and this is Wright State. How did they lose this
Well,
weekend? I'm sorry.
we
That
said,
is the
we said,
that's the biggest story in the state.
but we said on him this podcast and said as soon as Vandy's region came out, holy crap, that's hard.
It's hard.
That was a hard region, man. But
If you're the
hey,
number one
I'm not
overall
making
seed,
excuses.
you should win that.
Yes, but I'm not making excuses.
Batting
You
166.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, think about listen here. The last 3
I'm
Vandy
listening.
seasons. Interesting. The last 3 Vandy seasons. These are the opponents that ended their seasons. Xavier, High Point, and Wright State. Those are the 3 programs that ended the greatest program in the state. The Duke of college baseball. That's who ended their seasons. That's where they are right now. And it's just funny to me because like this sport was all Vandy fans really had. I mean, I know Diego Pavia gave you some fun times, and hell, I even enjoyed it. You kept Bama out of the playoff, but in basketball, I mean, you made a tournament this year, dude. You're on the come up in a couple things, but you kind of know it's not going to really produce a real success, right? I mean, no one here thinks Vandy's ever going to make a college football playoff or a Final Four. But college baseball, that's I mean, let's be honest, it doesn't usually generate a profit, and Vandy could maybe just own this. They kind of thought, hey, what if we just said screw everything else, we can own this, and on top of it all, one of the worst programs in the conference is our next door neighbor. So hell, this is going great. Who they hire? Tony Vitello? Okay. Oh, they're getting pretty good. They're kind of the exact opposite of us, but like really good. Like the only thing they have in common with us is being really good. And we end up owning them. But they finally have a year where they're beating us again. They're like, oh, we got our foothold on the rivalry again. You guys are under us now. And that's how it ended in Hoover. We got our ass whooped by y'all. But we go to our regional and we hit bombs. We have fun. We're playing. We're just having a great time. One of the best times I've had in a long while. And what do? You can't hit the broadside of a barn and get sent home by a team from Horizon League. That's what you did as the number 1 overall seed. This was your Renaissance season. This was the season that had to pay off for the seasons where you didn't do crap. This was your cash-in year, and you won 1 game. It's just hilarious, man. I mean, I'll be honest. If I was a Vanderbilt Commodores fan, I just hate everything right now. I mean, not only is my great coach ever, he's getting older, but he's choking down the stretch now. He's not even letting me enjoy his like Renaissance era. And now you gotta sit there and watch the team you hate more than anyone, who was supposed to be worse than you, who was worse than you for most of the year. And let's be honest, we just won a title. We're supposed to not have that good a year this year. That team you hate more than anything, they're still playing, and they're playing pretty freaking good. Like I bet that was just like salt in the wound for Vandy fans, especially at the last few years. I mean, you saw how short-tempered Tim Corbin was in that post-game presser after the first loss. It's awesome. I really believe this sport right here is the single most underrated sport in America or in the world. I mean, I don't really watch outside of the U.S., but I'd say the world. I'm gonna speak for the whole world. Thank you. But I really feel like it's legitimately one of the most underrated things out there because it's just the characters, the everything, and it's just like so much fun. And speaking, well, we're talking about Vandy, choking. So did a lot of the conference. Texas, some say $9 million roster. I mean, it's all like hearsay figures, but some say 9 million. What do? They win what one maybe? No, they only won I think one game in the postseason, and no two, and they get sent home by the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. That's who they got their season ended by. Old Jim Schlossnagle leaving in the middle of the night after losing the natty for A&M. What do they do? Yeah, he goes to Texas and buys a bunch of players, and he can't do crap with them in the postseason. Georgia, top 8 seed, gonna host 2 weekends if they win. Can't get past the Pokes, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's the end of their year. Who else lost? Ole Miss, the team who been rallying the end of the year. They got sent home by the Murray State Racers. The Fighting John Morants. Florida, Sully. Florida ends the year just absolutely hotter than hell, but doesn't get to host. And Sully has a freaking hissy fit over moving start times and gets his ass whooped by the East Carolina Pirates. What else happened? Mississippi State loses. Kentucky loses. It's so funny because I think SEC set the record this weekend for most teams eliminated. But here we go in our super regional against a team from the SEC. It's such a fun time to be at Tennessee baseball.
So there's two teams left in our, I guess, not our regional, but to face off against, right? We got Arkansas, and then LSU is playing West Virginia, correct?
Yes, that would be who we face game one if we win.
So if LSU was to win against West Virginia, then if we were to take care of Arkansas, we play another SEC team in LSU. So that's correct, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. So right now, Tennessee and just about every team that we play or plays LSU, West Virginia, LSU, us, Arkansas, this little section right here of the bracket is murderous row. Because this right here could literally be the final four of the whole damn bracket if they were in different regions. So, I mean, it's just a wild tournament because there is no favorite team. There is no coming in. You thought Vandy was that team. You thought Vandy was the team that was just that got hot. Florida too. You thought they got hot, and then they got sizzled out. Someone threw some water on them, and they were gone. Their flame went out. So this baseball tournament has been crazy. And Tennessee, honestly, have they been the most efficient team so far?
I mean, no one is. I mean, I'd probably actually say Arkansas is playing better than anyone. If you really think about it, I don't think they've trailed for a minute. But Tennessee, no one's playing better. No one's playing their best baseball like Tennessee is. This is the best Tennessee's played all year. I've seen stuff that I have. It kind of does feel like the early part of the season when we thought we were the best team in baseball. Like Braden Krenzel, this is the guy that gave you 5 scoreless back in South Carolina, or not, maybe not scoreless. I can't remember perfectly, but he was pretty good. And then he got mono, and he kind of sucked. Last night, that was the best he's looked since March. Brandon Arvidsson. First of all, he gets that. I mean, throughout the year, he's came out of the pen, did good or bad. It was a mixed bag. But against Texas, we go to him, and he's absolutely dominant. He gives you, I think, like 6 innings of, just absolute dominance. And then you pull him there, or then you bring him out in that game we lose against Wake Forest, and he gives you 5 good innings. What else you got? Dole's pitching great. Phillips is pitching great. Did you find it interesting, though, Tegan Coons didn't even get an inning of work this weekend?
No, not really.
I mean, this is a guy, I'm just saying, this is a guy who started every single Sunday game for you all season long. pretty sure, and he didn't receive one inning of work in these 4 games when your staff was stretched as far as it could. It really shows, like, I guess they felt good about that for a moment there, and now they just decided it's time to try their things. I mean, he might play in the Arkansas series. I don't know, but it's funny they just totally moved on from him. I mean, I don't know what his future is here. I don't want to say, I don't want to start anything. I found it curious, that situation, that you would have the guy start. I mean, his starts usually didn't go that long, but he still started every Sunday game for you, and you had 4 games and he didn't start one of them. I really liked how Russell looked. I mean, it wasn't like the dream, like it wasn't like the greatest he could ever play, but at least he's giving you some good work.
I can tell you right now that there's a reason why Coons isn't playing. So I can tell you that right now. But it worked out well for us. So you had Tanner Franklin out there throwing 100, 101 miles an hour down the plate for strikes. One guy got a hit off of him. Yeah, I love Tanner Franklin. I think he's good, man.
He's like a more controlled. Well, he's not okay. He doesn't have Ben Joyce speed, but because no one does. But he's like almost a more controlled version.
Yeah, but man, he was good. I mean, they got one hit off of him. Other than that, the pitching looked pretty good. I mean, there was some moments that, where we were up. We had eight runs, and a lot of people around me were like, 8 runs is not going to win this game, and I agree with them. So we had to score a little bit more, which we did, and we took care of it. We got ahead, and we kind of never looked back. I really think Andrew Fisher took a lead and really solidified that game for us, because my wife sat there and it's like, Andrew Fisher might be one of the most favorite players by this season of all time here in baseball, because I know it's one season.
Well, it's like
I've never seen a player.
Playing great.
I've never seen a player.
The one highlight, it was like throughout his SEC play, it was like he was playing great, but they wouldn't win the games. It was weird, but now they're finally winning with him.
I've never seen a player come up to the plate and literally call a shot. Like, he literally called basically a Babe Ruth shot without calling a Babe Ruth shot.
Unlike, I mean, let's be honest, like the Babe Ruth shot, that's kind of a myth. Andrew Fisher has actually happened.
Well,
that's crazy.
But you know the story of the Babe Ruth shot, right? They sit there and pretty much called a shot of like where he's going to hit it, and it went out. I don't know if it's fact or fiction. Don't really care. That was a billion years ago. Andrew Fisher is right now, not a billion years ago. But he walks out and he beats his chest, pumps up the crowd. Coach goes crazy, calls him a crazy name, and then he just blasts ones into outer space. And the crazy thing about the whole run is when he hit it, and you watch it on TV, it looks like he knocked it to the railroad tracks in the back of Lindsey Nelson Stadium. But that thing was so high in the air, there was a big pop and a big gasp as soon as he hit it, and then people kind of waited and waited. And then it went over, and everyone went crazy. But the Manny Marin home run was the exact same way, super high, and it barely went over. So, I mean, it was crazy, man.
I remember, when we had 2 on, we just took the lead on that wild pitch, and then Levi got hit in the back, which he got hit twice, but he got hit in the back, and so we had 2 on with 1 out, and Peebles is at bat, and Peebles strikes out, and I turned to the guy behind me. I mean, this is maybe an exaggeration kind of quote I gave, but I said, man, it just feels like those teams of the past, they usually cash in moments like this, and I feel like we just blew it, like we're gonna go and have 2 strikeouts or something, right here with the plate set and all the momentum on our side. We're not gonna fully advance on it and make this place a party. And he strikes out, and then Manny Marin comes up, and I love Manny Marin. but I never think of home runs when he approaches the plate
Mm,
because he's hit 3 on the year, and
yeah,
they
3.
were all before SEC play. He hit homers against St. Bonaventure and teams like that, and he gets a hold of one. It wasn't like it was opposite field, and he hits it. Almost out of the strike zone. I don't think it was a strike after rewatching it, and it wasn't a no doubter. Like I just kept watching. This is what I always do. I mean, I'm sure it's what everyone does. I watch the outfielders and I just look at their eyes and look at how their body language is. Do they think they can do this? Do they think they're keeping this in the field? And he just kept running and running and running, and then he ran into a wall and it was gone. And I couldn't believe it. It was just like, and that's a freshman. This is an 18-year-old kid having the biggest moment of the year for you so far. It's that kid's got. I cannot wait to see how that kid turns out here. He's going to be a stud. Like, I mean, I'm not going to compare him to anyone. I'm not going to say he's going to be a Christian Moore, but wouldn't shock me at all if he's first team SEC eventually. That kid is a absolute raw baseball talent out the ass. And then Curly right after that got the hard hit single. And Curly actually didn't have that. He played pretty good defense this weekend. He had that one. There was one moment he did scoop up a grounder, throw it to first base, and Fisher had to go about 2 feet in the air to grab it. But we got the out, so there was no error. But everyone around me went, just maybe he's gonna not have any more errors. That'd be awesome. I mean, it's college baseball, so who knows? But man, what a night. You feel so good about this team right now. Like, here's the thing: like, we are playing the hardest opponent you could put on the board. But you know what? The last time we were up there this season, when we played at Arkansas, we looked pretty good. Game 1, we scored 10 runs and responded at moments. We had a big lead, gave it up, then came back and put on the accelerator and put the game away. And just played really confident baseball. One thing I will say about this team is that with most bad baseball teams, or most like not that good baseball teams, they play usually their best. They play pretty okay at home, but then they're on the road and they're absolute crap if it's a big environment. But I've seen this team look great at LSU, look great at Arkansas, look great. I mean, dominant at Alabama in front of big crowds, if you remember, and did great in Hoover. I mean, it is not. I mean, I'd say I'm 50-50 on who wins this super regional.
DR chimes in. I finally get to a comment here. Do y'all feel like Andrew Fisher channeled his Drew Gilbert?
Yeah, it felt like it. I mean, I do think this program just attracts players like that. Like when you had those moments early on, and it just kind of built a culture. And it's odd. It's kind of crazy that the guys who I feel like fit this culture the most spent their last couple of years, playing at other college programs.
Mm-hmm.
It's imagine being an Ole Miss fan. The night Andrew Fisher and Liam Doyle having the night of their lives in Lindsey Nelson Stadium, advancing to the Supers. You're blowing the game against a team from the Missouri Valley. Let them score like 2 touchdowns on you.
Exactly. So just like imagine if Ole Miss had Andrew Fisher and Liam Doyle right now, like how good they would actually be right now. But the funny thing is, Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher went into Ole Miss, played Ole Miss this past season and beat them, and their fans are pissed. And now they're watching Tennessee and Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher, psychopath Liam Doyle, just completely affect the way a team plays in Tennessee. How pissed are they?
Growing up, it always felt like Tennessee was very forbidden. They're extremely pissed because I truly think Ole Miss has to be the most like No one gets kicked in the crotch more than Arkansas fans, but a close second is Ole Miss. It's not talked about enough how much they get kicked in the crotch. They have one of the best college football playoff teams. They had a great. I mean, they were destined to go to the playoff. They beat the hell out of Georgia. I mean, God bless. Did they beat Alabama? Did they beat Alabama? I don't remember. No, they didn't play them, I don't think. Whatever. Anyway, they blew their chance at the playoff by losing to Billy Napier. I mean, and they had another bad loss, if I remember right. But they absolutely choked that away. They basketball, I guess they made the Sweet 16, but I think they choked that game away against Texas Tech, and it just feels like they always have a great opportunity and squander it, just like kind of like Arkansas fans do, or Arkansas does to their fans. And it really did back in the day. Felt like Tennessee always did that to us, but it just doesn't seem that way anymore. And we have our heartbreaks, but they're usually like met with actually overachieving in a lot of ways of late. And it's just I couldn't imagine. I'd be pissed, so pissed. I'd be so pissed. I mean, you can't even like imagine if Chase Burns, if we blew a regional to like, I don't know, freaking Mercer. If we blew a regional in Mercer, and at the same time Chase Burns and Wake Forest are just like kicking the crap out of Vandy, and you're just having to sit there and watch it and know that these guys gave the middle finger to your program. And also, when you played them, they played outstanding and beat you in your house. I mean, it's absolutely, we own them. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say. Like, usually, ironically enough, I feel like usually in these transfer portal deals where like a great player at a program leaves for another program, I usually feel like the program who got like screwed over ends up doing better than the other program. Like, I think we'll do better than UCLA, obviously, in football. And like, we were the better off in the Chase Burns war. It just feels like we most times you come out on top in these type of situations, but like Ole Miss, it's like the exact opposite. Like, these guys gave you the middle finger and they are reaping every kind of reward.
Yeah,
man, it's so fun. This is just so fun. Even if we get our ass whooped up in Fayetteville, this was a good year. We just won the national championship.
It was more than you expected, because the way they had been playing earlier, like the last month, like we even talked about it, like this team is going to get absolutely annihilated. But that just gives kudos to Tony Vitello, and that just shows you why Arkansas fans are so damn mad all the damn time. They're mad all the time because, and they sit there, bitch and moan and complain. But dude, you crap on Tony Vitello, but dude, you would have him come to your college in 5 seconds and be like, "Oh, we stole it from you. We're better." Like, dude, shut up. You are pissed that Tony Vitello is outdoing your coach that has had and given you a billion opportunities to make it to the college World Series and win it. But you fumbled it. Literally fumbled it. You fumbled it literally a couple years back. So I hope Tennessee goes into Fayetteville and smacks the dog shit out of Arkansas.
Would you say they stumbled and fumbled it?
Yeah, twice. Once in '98 and once a couple years ago. Did it twice. So, man, we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how it goes. But to close out this
I just have this feeling we're going to Omaha. Like, because I just feel like with Tennessee baseball, we typically get our way here. Maybe I'm being a little too glass half full, because we did get our hearts broken against Notre Dame. We had a couple times where we didn't do well in Omaha, but like generally, we are the best program in the last 5 years, and I just feel like, if we lose, we lose, but we are the team who usually feels like we're the more clutch, especially pre-Omaha in the postseason. And we're playing the program that's like the most unclutch. It seems like the most snake bitten. Like they could have $1 million and turn it into and just put it on black, and it somehow just fall off the table. Like
This
Oh
team, I mean,
man.
this team can 100% do it. Like, it's wild because I'm gonna repeat myself, but how pissed off the college baseball landscape will be if somehow this team that everyone was talking smack about how bad they are, how bad they suck, they have no chance, and they just keep rolling. They just keep going like a bouncing ball down the street, and people get even more upset and more upset and more upset. I know you'll have a field day because you're a Twitter machine. Like you'll have a field day with these fan bases.
Who who do you think is gonna have a great series that maybe you wouldn't expect?
North Carolina.
Oh, I meant our team, but
Oh, I thought you meant like overall. Sorry.
yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say that real quick about the whole college baseball supers. Is no one's talking about North Carolina. So I'm just going to throw that out there. No one's talking about North Carolina. North Carolina is
They're
quietly,
really good. They're really
yeah,
good.
but they're quietly in the supers. But ask your question again.
On this team, who do you think is going to step up and maybe surprise a few folks that
Dalton,
you may not see coming?
Dalton
Hmm?
Bargo. Dalton Bargo. It's
Yep.
coming. I'm telling you right now, it's coming.
It better. He's even playing like ass.
It's coming. Don Margo is going to have.
No offense to I please.
Whoa! Whoa! This is getting dropped out.
Okay.
This is getting dropped out.
Stats, whatever. I love them.
That's not what you told me.
Here's the thing. The last time he looked really good at the plate was in Fayetteville. 2 homers in that game we won. And he did pretty good the rest of the series. Since then, not so much. But I mean, he'd tell you more than one. I mean, he's in a rut. He's a hitter. I mean, what do you? It happens. It happens. You get in a rut. But I do think he could absolutely come out of it. But yeah. DR comes in, says Dean Curley. I can definitely see it. Dean has been playing bad at the plate, but I'd love to see him have like a 5-hit game or something. That'd be freaking awesome.
Well, Don Bargo is too good to stay not good. Does that make sense? He's too good to stay not good. Like he's not. He's just people in baseball terms use the yips. He's had the yips bad, but dude is a good player.
He's in a rut.
He is due. Dalton Bargo is due for a big hit, a big run, something big, and it's gonna happen.
Are you a little surprised that he's been such a struggle, and Tony's kept him at 4 in the lineup?
I don't know. You just kind of no, because if you move him, it's going to kill his confidence even more. Because he's a good player, and Josh Ellswick chimes in and says Chapman is his answer. Chapman.
Yeah, those two right there.
Reese Chapman.
Oh,
Reese Chapman.
Actually, forget anything I said before. This guy's going to kick ass in Fayetteville, and it is Hunter Ensley. Hunter has not been having that much success at the plate for the most part in the last couple weeks. I mean, not okay. Haven't been bad. He's gotten a hit here and there, but it's not been like I don't think he's at a homer in a minute now. I absolutely think he's going to get on a little better streak. I really hate that freaking Cannon Peebles. They say he said something to the Wake Forest catcher that got him thrown out, and I'm pretty freaking sure the Wake Forest catcher said plenty because he was talking more than anyone on that field outside of Fisher, and absolutely deserved it. But it's what it is. We're gonna probably start Stone lawless. Maybe Stone will have a great game. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This team has got too much talent to not like. It's one of those scenarios where one player is playing bad, someone else steps up. Players playing bad, someone else steps up. And And Dean Curley has had a couple good games here. He really has. And that is your dude that you said at the very beginning of the season on our podcast is one of the best players in college baseball. You said that. He is one of the best players in all of college baseball. But Hunter Inslee has been a turn to ground out machine the last month. But last night, he had a hit. That was big. He saw a big hit. He saw a really big hit. So those players like Dean Curley, Hunter Inslee, you get those two dudes going, like that's big. Big. And they saw some good things happen last night. And that's big time for the rest of the season, in my opinion. So
absolutely. I have my cat. I absolutely think we're gonna see some good stuff. I really hope the pitchers, like, it would suck so much. It would seriously suck if Dole had a bad start. But I really do feel like, because I do remember how that start went last time at Fayetteville. That was his worst outing. But I think he might use that as fuel going into Fayetteville, and obviously he's doing outstanding. Do you think we end up starting him on Saturday, since it's yeah?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Set enough rest. So it's almost a whole week.
It's just so awesome he was willing to come out of the pen like that. Like, usually those transfer guys who are going to be top 5 picks, they want to. Obviously, I don't want him to risk injury.
Have you seen Doyle? He's a psychopath. He don't care. He was literally staring at the corner of a wall before he walked out. He don't care. And these dudes are 20 years old.
But some of those top 5 picks, aka Chase Burns, don't want to be overused. Don't want to be.
Doyle's not one of those dudes.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I love
Doyle. Doyle is Doyle's almost like a Tim Tebow-ish type athlete. He wants to kill you. He does. He wants to run over your ass. And Doyle, he is one of a kind. And so is Fisher. Fisher and Doyle are two players that they want to beat the life out of you. They want to suffocate you. And back to everything we talked about Fisher and Doyle and Fisher beating his chest like a gorilla. Doyle out there talking smack as the guy goes to the timeout. Like, those dudes are warriors, man. Those are the dudes you want on your damn team, man. And it's a good thing that this is happening right now.
I'm not going to bank on it or whatever, because this team has been up and down all year, and they could show their ass. They could show the bad Tennessee baseball and, lose hair. But let's just say this team goes to Omaha and just wins it all again. Could you imagine the reaction, the college baseball world? At that point, I think Tony Vitello is on a fast track to be maybe regarded as the greatest coach in the history of college baseball. All respect to Skip Berkman. I mean, 5 titles is incredibly impressive, but I'll be honest, Tony Vitello is coaching in a more dominant era, in a more harder to win era.
Yeah. Josh chimes in and says, we need Snead, in all caps, to bounce back big time. He's the leader on this team, and I think a good outing would boost his confidence for the bullpen in general. Any comments on Snead, Austin?
Okay. I never hated Nick Snead. I was just like, man, what happened? That's all I was like. It's like how anyone would be in the stands when a guy had a bad outing. It's just it was a fan reaction. I think the guy is actually probably our highest ceiling reliever. AJ Russell, I guess, is the best prospect out of the pen. But I love Nick Snead. That dude, I love him. And the only reason I was tweeting that was because, I don't know, he was the best reliever we had last year. and he's had a few bad outings this season, a few more than he'd had the previous year. And I was more or less just being like, man, I want him to have that again. I want him to return to that dominance. And he started to against Texas. That was his best outing probably of the entire season. And you could tell he needed it because he was getting pumped. And here's the thing though, I get what happened with my comment. He's more mad about his struggles of late than anybody on the team or than anyone. And you know, you kind of want to just take your frustration out somewhere, and it had to be my Twitter account.
I wonder why.
Maybe I played a role in being a little bit.
I don't know.
No, I didn't. But I like to think I helped a little. Even though I know he walked in the game when he run the other night, but overall,
you helped because Nate Snead is just thinking about Austin Brown's tweet before he goes out and pitches. That's what he's thinking
According
about.
to Twitter, they do.
That's what he's thinking about. Austin Brown before he goes and pitches.
Okay, I only hear about it like 7.
That's what he's thinking.
A day.
Yeah.
The most melancholy tweet in the history of time. I hear about it every freaking day.
Yeah.
I don't use that word often.
He probably goes to bed at night.
He might use it correct, probably, actually.
Yeah.
But,
he probably checks your Twitter account every night before he goes to bed. Probably thinks about you, talks about you, dreams about you. But
I know you dream about me. I know you and DR got more photos than me than.
Well, because you set yourself up. So, but
you set yourself up too. I just don't cash in.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Or you would cash in. So that's false.
No, I'm polite.
You're a funny guy. Anything else before we end this podcast? Predictions? How are you feeling about the series about Arkansas?
Okay, it's one of those things where it's like, I hope this gets in Arkansas's head. I hope that facing Tennessee, this is a stage they've choked on in the past, and this is supposed to be their best team. But this is a stage that they've struggled at in the previous seasons, and I hope they get in their own heads and we come out with an ungodly amount of testosterone and just like just cash in on that, make their nightmares come true, pretty much. Because when you're a part of something like that, like it kind of is shown when Tennessee plays Florida. It's kind of like when Tennessee plays Florida. Things just it's like when one bad thing happens, it gets in your head and it just starts snowballing, kind of. And like you're playing against Florida, and you're also playing against yourself because the past times you've screwed up in this matchup, and you just think the worst is going to happen. So it's like you're battling yourself. And for Arkansas, that's kind of them in the postseason. They tend to have these just moments where they choke it all away. And I pray to God that we do one good thing and it gets in their heads and we can just cash in on that and they can't hit the broadside of a barn. I want to, man, it's funny. It's more or less like once you won the national title like we did last season, it's not like we need this kind of deal. Like I'd be fine if Arkansas loses or if we lose to Arkansas. I'll be fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's a year following the national championship. Those are never that good. No one's gone back to back since South Carolina, and that team brought and that 2010 team had most of the 2009 team back. It's not normal. It's actually this is the best season following a national championship since 2019 Oregon State. So we're already playing with house money, I feel like, pretty much. But all the pressure in the world is on Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty impressive that Tennessee, people talk about all year how they lost so many guys to the majors. It's pretty damn impressive that Tennessee has made it back to the supers after losing this many people. And that's
5 straight years.
Yes. And that's just a testament to Tony Vitello of how you come here, you're probably going to win and you're going to win a lot. So I don't count this team out. And to close this podcast out, uh, I I think Tennessee beats Arkansas. I think they go in there. I think they've hit the heat. They're hot at the right time. They are making people mad again, which is what they do, and it's going to piss them off even more when they beat Arkansas. And they move on to probably LSU, if I'm guessing, but don't count out West Virginia.
Oh, I think we're playing West Virginia. I gotta.
West
That
Virginia's
LSU,
good,
they
man.
almost choked it away. They almost choked it away. I mean, that freshman LSU showed the holy crap, he's outstanding. I mean, they got talent all over the place. I'd say as a program, LSU is probably Tennessee and LSU, the top two programs in the sport right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know Arkansas and Vandy are going to choke away big moments. But yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I this tournament, okay, like March Madness this year, outside of like a few little moments, it was mostly chalk. I mean, I enjoyed it because we were in the Elite Eight and we beat our, biggest rival in the Sweet 16. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. But as a, viewer of the whole sport, it was kind of chalky. Like I took off work Thursday and Friday to watch those games, and I was just more or less like, nothing, no upsets. Even the potential ones, they'd all fizzle out in the last 5 minutes, and the favorite, would win. It was pretty disappointing overall. Like you didn't no Furman over Virginia, none of that crap. This college baseball postseason has been absolutely insane. Number one and number two didn't make it to the Sweet 16 of college baseball. Didn't make it out of the regionals.
Been one of the more fun ones we've seen in a long time.
If LSU didn't come back to beat Little Rock, who, by the way, they almost lost to Little Rock, a team that finished below 500 in their conference. I mean, this is that's like one of the worst teams in the field overall by pure record.
Well, that's the thing about baseball, though. It's like when you get a team like that has nothing to lose. It's like basketball. When you get a team that has nothing to lose, they're going to do crazy stuff to beat you. So I would rather play a good team than a lower ranked team or a lower seeded team in baseball because they're going to try to steal every base. They're going to try to do everything in their power to beat you, and those are the most tricky teams to beat.
Well, thank God we're playing Arkansas.
It's true, though. I mean, it is true because you bring your best when you play good teams. You play these small.
I'm happy we didn't have like one of those. I mean, all respect. I think Miami, Ohio had a lot of good talent on their team, but we didn't play like a Wright State or a Campbell like we played in the past years, which we did beat them when we played them, but we didn't have to play like one of those blue collar 5-year player type of teams. I do think the COVID players getting kind of out of the sport has made teams less dominant. Less of those 5th-year guys across every roster overall has made the sport a little more even, and it was crazy. I cannot believe Vandy choked that away like they did. I'll be honest, as a huge Tennessee fan, I thought Vandy was going to just kill it in the postseason. I did. I thought they were going to go to the national championship. I did a bracket, and I thought they were going to the national championship. When I was sitting there enjoying them choking out of freaking nowhere, like not even remotely how they've been playing of late, because that was a confident team we lost to in Hoover. They looked confident. They looked good. They didn't look like a hot team. They looked like a straight up really good baseball team. I thought, I did not see that coming. That was crazy. I guess I really think they just got a couple struggles in, or had a couple bad at bats, and it just got in their head. I think, especially once you lose that first game, it gets in your head. I mean, you saw how Tim Corbin went off on that reporter at the end of game one, or the first loss that they took. It's just, I could not believe that. In Texas, I mean, Texas did kind of fizzle down the stretch, and the Roadrunners are a tough team from the AAC. That's actually, but it still is absolutely shocking they actually lost to them in their home field. Like It's actually weird. Like, we did lose to Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was from the ACC, the second best conference in college baseball, with a bunch of experienced dudes, and they almost hosted that year. They were a good team that we lost to in the Supers that season. Yes, we were better, but they were good. We are lucky to have never had that, oh my God, how do we just lose to this Central State, whatever, moment like Texas and Vandy had. Like, we're lucky to not have that happen to us yet, because this sport is absolutely wild. I mean, hell, Arkansas last year, Arkansas other years will tell you it's wild. But man, I am enjoying it. How sick of Tennessee must you be though if you're a non-Tennessee fan? I couldn't imagine. It must suck.
Yeah, it must. Yeah, I'd be pissed. But
one last thing,
Hmm?
I do think when the double celebration, the Drew Gilbert,
God, that is
when they started doing that, I think it was Cannon that brought it back.
Hmm?
When they started doing that, I was like, holy crap, it's like the calendar turned to June and they're just like, hey guys, you want to play Tennessee baseball? Yeah. Oh, let's try that. Oh, it's fun. This is cool. Like, it kind of felt like they got it right, you know? I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's all house money, like I said. I think we won in 2 games.
We'll see.
I don't know. Believe it or not, Vegas has us as the second best odds to win the national championship.
Yeah, they had us like the 4th at the beginning of the season. Now it's like 2nd. So we'll see. But we'll do this again after the regionals, which will be we play what, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But good podcast. Thanks for coming on, Austin Brown.
Tennessee 2025 national champions. Yeah, it's just it's what it is. You know.
Well, anyways, great podcast, bud. Enjoy it every time. Good night. Go Vols. God bless. We'll do it again.